tonight.
Aggressive, three-pointer. He got it. He got it. Incredible. The Suns win the game.
And Derek Fisher is coming on, and let's listen to the crowd as he comes onto the floor.
The Stockton Jazz run. Stock to the middle. To Shannon Anderson. Hammered up. The young rookie. Stringing in.
Welcome back. That's our countdown so far. Next up, the fans pick for the number 7 moment in Utah Jazz history. You know, when John Stockton and Karl Malone left the franchise, fans in Utah were worried they might never win another playoff series. But just 3 short years later, the Jazz had signed Carlos Boozer and drafted Deron Williams. Things were looking up. In the 2007 playoffs, Utah was tested in the first round by Houston. The home team won the first 6 games of the series, which meant the Jazz had to pick up the first road win in a Game 7 in franchise history to move on to the second round.
To go to the second round, the Utah Jazz have to do something that is almost never done. Win a Game 7 on the road.
I against I, flesh of my flesh, your mind of my mind. Two of a kind, but one won't survive. My image is reflecting the enemy's eye, and his image is reflecting mine at the same time.
The Jazz open up a 16-point lead in the second quarter.
It's a right by Yao.
But the Rockets won't go away. In the fourth quarter, McGrady brings the Rockets back.
25 for McGrady as Yao looks on. The lead is 3.
Clock memo. Ka-ching for 3.
But just like all season, the money man goes to the bank.
Ball is tipped. Memo catches, shoots it, and hits! Money man! No, and Salt Lake City, we're coming home.
The win propels the Jazz to the second round for the first time in 6 seasons.
Everybody played well for us tonight. Everybody stepped up. Everybody made big plays late in the game, and we were able to win the game.
I couldn't be happier for a group of guys that I've coached, I believe, since I've been here, because started off the season hoping that they would be able to get to this level and then have the chance to play in the first round and try to move on from there. And that was huge for our younger guys.
We were sitting right here on this set during that game, and I remember there were a series of big plays down the stretch. Late, Mehmet Okur hit a pair of threes, and Bowler was screaming money. But I remember Kirilenko hitting one. Williams came down, wanted to go into the post, and Kirilenko's man dropped back into Carlos Boozer's lap. Boozer was double-teamed before the ball ever got to him, threw it out to Kirilenko, and I remember thinking, perfect execution of the scouting report. Jeff Van Gundy, the coach at the time, telling his guys, dare Kirilenko. It's like you say, you know, you're open for a reason. Dare Kirilenko to make the 3. Kirilenko makes it. They win the game, and Van Gundy is fired. If Van Gundy played the odds, if Kirilenko had missed, he'd still have a job, and they would have moved on.
But that series, especially that game, you watch it, and it was everything the Jazz were about that year. I mean, it was a team game. Everybody got a part of the action. You know, you remember Boozer going by Yao. You remember Memo hitting threes. You remember Memo blocking Yao shots a few times through the series, and it was just a great game to win.
It was, and a very pivotal series for the Utah Jazz, because when you're living on the Stockton-Malone era for so long, there's certain expectations that you try to develop for the new guys coming in. And when that series happened, I think we established kind of what the key figures of players that the Jazz have right now.
And it was big because, of course, everybody knew that Golden State, the 8 seed, had already upset number 1
That's
Dallas.
right.
That was
That's
the ticket to the conference final. You know, the other thing about that game was Carlos Boozer, who's obviously taken a lot of grief from Jazz fans over the year. If you go back and you look at that box score, 35 points, 14 rebounds, and 5 assists. He had a monster game in the clutch on the road. He made free throws at the end of this game, and he grabbed a Memo Okur air ball and stuck it in the final minute or so.
Absolutely. He was outstanding. And, you know, those were the times when, you know, you knew what Carlos came with, double-figure rebounds, double-figure points, and the expectations after that, and the defense that you talked about from Memo Okur, that's really what set that series off.
I like the fact that he dominated that game, because he knew who was guarding him, because they'd done it through previous years, and he went right at Yao. He didn't let him attack him. He didn't let him block shots. He went right through him, drew some fouls. You saw him on the bench late in the game, which was a huge factor for the Jazz down the stretch.
Who have we